Good morning, everybody, and this is your S&P 500 setups for today. So yesterday being a public holiday in the US and the UK, nothing really goes on in that environment. Well, when there's a public holiday like that. So yeah, we tend to stay away from that. I think at the moment, we back up, we sort of dropped quite drastically last week. Now we're all the way back up. Kind of where we opened last week, and you can see already a bit of an engulfing bar there. I just want to clean up this chart, it's a little bit messy. So last week we had a range bar, and typically when you get a range bar, the high and low becomes your levels. But I think one thing is for sure, we did come back to test the previous week's high, which was 52.90. And we have rejected that. So that level for me is definitely a line in the sand. There it is there. Let's just get that exact. I don't think that's exact. That's more like it. 52.87. So just raise it up to this pin bar. And 52.89. So 52.90 is our line in the sand. And you can see what happened yesterday, pretty much sideways for most of the day. Then we did rally a little bit before dropping off again. So this could be a flag forming for a second leg down. And remember what I said last week, you've got a strong zone of support just below us here as well. We have tagged it last week already, and this is 52.68, 52.63. See, that was an area of interest before we bounced off last week. So if we drop down through the time frame, sorry, wrong time frame, 3 hours, and pin bar off that level, and we sort of gradually ground our way higher last week before closing in a range bar. So this is bottom of the range bar. The high of last week is the top of that range bar. There it is there. And I remember that as a weekly range bar. So I still am of the opinion that we are ranging. Don't really see any structure that I want to be involved in. And I'm just going to put this little level in as well, which is 53.03. So 5300 I think is the line in the sand there as well. Right, so let's just have a look at the hour. Now, yesterday's price action, you can't really read in much into this. You can see how we were sideways till late in the session before we kind of rallied. So for all intents and purposes, there is a gap open on the cash market, and that gap is right at this 5300 area. So I would expect us to come back to test it. The only thing I'm going to read into the price action from yesterday is that we maintained our position above the moving averages. Oscillators have grouped to the upside. They've now rolled a bit and turning. We did get a gap down this morning, but nothing really to write home about. What you can do is just put that level in there. That's 53.18. And I'm not really in the mood for putting in all these levels, but I suppose we can do that. There's our other level, 53.07. So I would assume that we should pull back to 53.07 and 5300. We should build a base here, and then this move should continue to the upside. Challenge that I do have is that we've got a diagonal, which I suppose is not so much a challenge. It did look like that we'd broken through that diagonal, but we haven't. So scrap that, no challenge here. First fractal, second fractal, there's my trend line. So we are sort of hovering along that. Now, if you draw a line from the swing low across like that, that's going to give you the start of a wedge. And if you put a Fibonacci in here, you'll probably find that we're in a 61.8 Fibonacci extension at the moment. So very possible that we drop as well. It's kind of a 50-50 call, but that's what I would expect when we have a range bar on the weekly as well. So let's just look at some logic here. This is definitely an area I want to pay attention to. 5307, 5300. 5300 obviously dropped below the diagonal trend line, which could be a problem. But you probably find that you'll create a long-tailed bar here for another move to the upside. What could also happen is, just looking at what happened on Friday, we had a strong move up before forming this flag, and then we've gone sideways with a public holiday. But we're now basically, with today, we've opened up above the flag, so we kind of broken the flag. So the retest of the flag could also be a situation as well. You kind of need to discredit today or yesterday's price action and only focus on Friday's price action. So Friday was sideways, consolidation, breakup, consolidation, and then it could very well be a break that's happening. So with all of that in your head, 5307, 5300, definitely looking for a move back to that area. I'm going to delete this diagonal for now. Bear in mind that we've got a big juicy gap here at 5287. So 5289, sorry. 5289. So 5289 and 5282. There's your gap. Big juicy gap to the downside, so I'd be very concerned about that. The only way that you're going to get to that is if you break through this structure that was formed yesterday. So if you just look further left, it corresponds to structure on Friday. So a drop below 50, I would say 5300, then you would be looking for a move lower down to this zone here, which is 5282. So that's kind of the only thing that I'd look at for a short. Otherwise, we're looking for longs, and we're looking for a retest of 5307 or 5300. We're looking for a bounce, and then we're looking to first target 5317, get above that. Back to the 3 hour. Get above that, then you have your next target, which would be 5327. Get above that, then you're looking for 5350. So that's kind of my view at the moment, but I suspect it's going to be quite volatile and all over the place until we build a base, because for all intents and purposes we are sideways. Okay, anyway, that's kind of my view for today. I hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.